Trump once again put Iran face to face with the brutal military force of the United States, after a U.S. Army Apache 64 helicopter crashed near the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Oman in an incident that Trump attributed to an Iranian action. On Tuesday night, and already with strong repercussions this Wednesday, June 10, 2026, the United States Central Command confirmed self-defense strikes against Iranian positions under direct orders from the Commander-in-Chief. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard tried to turn the case into a regional threat, promised a response, and began talking about new attacks against American forces and allies in the Gulf. But Trump's reaction was quick, tough, and calculated. Kashin, Sirik, Jask, Jesk, Bandar Abbas, and Minabi entered the map of American pressure. Radars, air defense, coastal batteries, military points, and structures linked to the control of southern Iran became targets. While Tehran tried to project strength, the Iranian defense showed flaws, contradiction, and desperation. Israel was still tightening the grip on Hezbollah in Lebanon, expanding the siege against the armed wing of the Iranian regime outside its borders. The nuclear crisis also returned to the center of the table, with Iran rejecting proposals and trying to buy time. What did Trump see? Why did Iran risk everything? How did the United States suddenly increase the pressure? I'll explain in a moment. If you like this kind of straightforward and no-nonsense content, consider subscribing because we have videos like this every day. The Trump administration treated the downing of the Apache as a direct attack against American forces in one of the most sensitive regions in the world. The aircraft was patrolling waters near the Strait of Hormuz, a vital passage for energy, trade, and international security. The two soldiers were rescued alive and remained stable, but Washington did not let the incident end with a diplomatic note. The response came with attacks against Iranian territory, mainly in the province of Hormozgan, in southern Iran, where there are ports, missile batteries, and defense systems used by the regime to threaten navigation. Trump even publicly downplayed the size of the incident by saying that no one had died, but this statement did not mean weakness. Shortly after, the United States launched a round of attacks that showed the opposite. The White House used public calm as a cover for a stronger military response. The logic was simple: not to let the enemy dictate the pace of decision-making, not to announce every step ahead of time, and not to allow the Islamic Revolutionary Guard to test American forces without paying a price. The United States Central Command reported that the attacks began at 5 p.m. Eastern Time in response to the helicopter crash. The official word used was self-defense, but the effect on the ground was much greater than just a symbolic response. Hitting radars and air defenses is not just about punishment, it's about blinding the adversary, reducing their ability to react, and creating room in case another round is needed. That's where Trump's message becomes clearer. Iran can shout, but the United States is striking where it hurts. Explosions were reported in Qashim, Sirik, Minab, and other areas in southern Iran. The Bandar Abbas region also came into focus because it is home to one of Iran's most important military and port areas. For Iran to lose control or security in this area means seeing its main tool of regional blackmail weakened. The regime has always tried to use the Strait of Hormuz as a threat against the world. Trump is now responding right near this sore spot. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard tried to react with tough rhetoric. Iranian authorities warned that attacks would not go unanswered and insisted that foreign forces should leave the region. The problem for the regime is that this threat came along with signs of confusion. Part of the Iranian establishment tried to downplay responsibility for the downing of the Apache. Another part spoke about the right to attack American forces for being close to Iranian territory. This contradiction exposes a regime under pressure, divided and without full control over its own narrative. After the American attacks, Iran responded with missiles and drones against bases linked to the United States in nations such as Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. The Iranian offensive tried to show strength, but it also confirmed the central point of the crisis. Tehran does not want an open conventional war against the United States. The regime operates with missiles, drones, militias, and regional intimidation. It attacks from a distance, threatens allies, increases tension in the Gulf, and tries to make the international community call for calm before Washington moves further. The difference is that Trump did not get trapped in paralysis. The American response was directed against Iran's real military capabilities. Air defense, radars, and coastal positions are structures that protect the regime and support its ability to threaten the region. When these targets come into focus, the message is not just for Tehran, Bahrain, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and other nations in the region. They see that Washington is willing to respond when the Iranian regime crosses the line. The United States Navy also appeared at the center of the information about the offensive. Reports from regional coverage pointed to the use of cruise missiles and attacks coming from the American naval structure. This kind of action increases the pressure because it shows that Iran is not dealing only with planes or fixed bases. It is dealing with a military machine capable of operating by sea, by air, and with real-time intelligence. For the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, this means that hiding systems, moving batteries, and relocating command posts does not solve the problem. While the United States was striking in southern Iran, Israel was increasing pressure against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israeli attacks hit firing areas and other positions in southern Lebanon amid the escalation linked to the Iranian axis. Israel claims that Hezbollah uses civilian areas and urban structures to maintain its military presence. The result was a new wave of evacuations, fear, and destruction in Lebanon, once again showing how the Iranian project spreads conflict beyond its borders. Hezbollah has also suffered losses in its command structure throughout this escalation. Israel has continued operations against figures linked to the group and against locations used for attacks. For Tehran, this matters because Hezbollah has always functioned as a strategic extension of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. When Israel puts pressure on Hezbollah, the pressure also reaches the Iranian regime. Iran loses room to threaten, loses a key instrument of intimidation, and sees its regional environment become more vulnerable. The nuclear crisis was included in the same package. The Iranian regime denied reports about a new accepted proposal and rejected the idea of a long freeze on uranium enrichment under the terms desired by Washington. Trump is pushing for a deal that would take away Iran's ability to use negotiations as a shield to buy time. Tehran is trying to preserve its nuclear margin, ease sanctions, and maintain regional influence. The difference now is that the talks are taking place as bombs fall near the regime's military facilities. Diplomacy still exists, but it no longer dominates the scene on its own. Trump talks about an agreement, but responds militarily when American forces are hit. This combination puts Iran in a difficult situation. Milson Alves, international relations analyst, and my purpose is to keep you accurately informed every day. The news links are in the video description. Leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and at the end, check out the comments so you can be even more engaged with the Milson Alves community.